Hey, and a massive, massive, massive kapow, Liz Benny here. This is the Happy Million Show, and oh my gosh, today I want to talk about burnout, and about how you specifically do not have to burn out in any way, shape, or form in order to make a lot of money and to live life on your terms. And I say it like make a lot of money. Like a lot of people want to make so much money as if money is going to be the thing that saves everything and changes everything for them. And money is amazing, money is incredible. At the end of the day, you want to live a life of freedom, right? You want to live on your terms. You want to be able to, uh, you know, go on holiday when you want to go on holiday, express yourself in the way that is true and right and real for you, and, do good work in the world, right? So, like, we're all basically the same. So, when I say make a lot of money, I mean you want probably to make a lot of money so that you can express yourself and have an amazing life. My point here is that you don't have to burn out in order for that to happen, nor should you, right? There is this fallacy out in the world that you have to burn out in order to be great, or you have to burn out in order to be worthy of the thing at the out the other side. No, absolutely not. No. And I'm literal proof of this too. I have burnt out, by the way. I've burnt out spiritually. I've burnt out emotionally. I've burnt out physically. I've done all the versions of burnout, and I've also lived on the other side of that, where I've just chosen way more ease. And there's a word that I'm gonna like. I love that word ease. I'll talk a little bit more about this in this particular episode as well. But the main thing I want you to know here is that if you genuinely are done with the burnout cycle and you are looking for, I guess, evidence that there's another way, then hi, you're looking at her. And that's not a soft sell. It's just saying, like, I literally want you to know right now, you don't have to burn yourself out. And there's actually no glory in burning yourself out. But I really want you to know you don't have to. And it's interesting because recently a person hired me. Around 7 months ago, a person hired me. And they said to me, Liz, can you help me build a business? And can you help me with funnels? And can you help me with branding? And can you help me with my offer? Can you help me? And I want to do this. And we looked at the end game of where she wanted to get her business to. She wanted to create $3 million, with around probably 2 million or 1.5 million of profit. So high profit margin. And I was like, cool, yep, this is amazing. Let's go for it. Now, interestingly, what she had in her head was funnels with upsells and downsells and a roundabout sells and bumps and, bright buttons and branding and all that sort of stuff. Because that is what, societally speaking, is kind of the expected norm. And especially given the fact that I have become quote unquote famous in the funnel world, or I wouldn't say that I'm famous anymore, but I used to be on the front page of ClickFunnels for years and years and years. And Russell Brunson used to talk about me up on stage. And I'm pretty sure that I'm still in one of his slides where he's selling this offer saying about how I make, you know, X many thousands of dollars per month with whatever he's in. They're not even selling that thing anymore, but that's interesting. My point is that there has been an expectation in the world that in order to make a lot of money online, you need this sexy funnel, you need this branding, you need this thing. And at the end of the day, this world has shifted so much that the old rules no longer apply. And I'm really grateful to have had this opportunity working with this incredible client. It was actually a 6 month stint, and it was amazing and incredible. And her books are full now with clients that she loves, and she doesn't even have a funnel. She doesn't even have a funnel. She is aligned, she is embodied, she has a message, she has marketing that goes out into the world in such a beautifully refined, simple, gorgeous way that it calls out to her market in the most easeful, potent way. She's not splatter painting herself out on Facebook ads. She's not wasting money on diluted messaging. She is potently speaking to her market, and she is filling seats in her leverage program. It's actually what I call a cash program. K is connected, aligned, simple, high leverage. That's what a cash program is. That's what I help people put together. Or a cash business, right? And cash can sound a little bit crass, but I personally believe that cash is queen, not cash is king. Cash is queen. And when I help people create these, they don't burn out. There's no need for people to burn out because they're creating businesses that are true and right and real for them, aligned, high leverage, simple businesses that don't have all the bells and all the whistles. Now, throughout the time that I was working with this incredible client, she kept kind of saying, yeah, but what about the funnel? What about the funnel? And I was showing her, I keep going back to the simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Keep going back to what experience do you want? What do you want over here? She's like, well, I want this and I want this and I want this. She wanted ease. She wanted simple. She wanted leverage. And I'm like, it's over here. All I saw for her is if she went the other way, if she went to and jumped into the funnel world, she would quite literally have to become such a different person to who she was in her core identity that it would have robbed her of all of her flow. It would have robbed her of her internal rhythm. There was an easier way. And sure, she can get to funnels in the future if she wants to. But there was a much more simple step that didn't mean that she needed to burn herself out trying to do something that where there was an easier way, is basically what I'm trying to say. The programming online is that you need bumps and upsells and downsells. And there's nothing, I'm not demonizing those in any way, shape, or form. I just want people to know that when you choose ease, it's way different. And this is coming from someone who has built so many funnels in her time. I know how to build a funnel, a really good funnel. And I've built so many funnels that I never really truly, they were all overcomplicated. They had the bells, the whistles, the upsells, the downsells, and they had no momentum. And I'll say this to you right now. You don't have to build a business that is overly complex for you to live life on your terms. The cultural programming would be you need to struggle, you need to work, you need to grind, you need to do things, you need to become exhausted, you need the exhaustion badge on your, on your heart in order to be someone of worth. My friend, burnout is not a prerequisite for greatness in any way, shape, or form. I had to go through a period of time where I took myself out of the addiction. I was addicted to funnels. I was addicted to clicking on Facebook ads and, oh, what's this person? Oh, maybe I can do this, or maybe, and I would have so many things that I had opened and started and maybe bought and maybe downloaded and started this program. What about this? And what about that? And it is the open loops in my brain meant that I was so not focused on simplicity and so I couldn't focus on ease. I had so much clutter going on. And I'm so grateful that my client hired me because she's got a really simple ease filled business. She just reached out to me 3 days ago and she said, 3 clients just joined. You were right. This gets to be easy. Because I used to say that to her all the time. It gets to be easy. Choose ease. And by the way, every single week we would have an ease call, which was always designed to ask the question, what needs to be removed from your life in order to have more ease and what needs to be added to your life in order to have more ease. 2 simple questions every single week. I don't know kind of what happened there for those of you watching. I think balloons just came onto the screen. I apologize for that. That's a nice little bit of like real, raw, honest Apple stuff going on there. So, my dear friend, ease in the Kapow world stands for enlightened, aligned, simple experience. And for so many entrepreneurs, all they know is chaos, but all they want is calm. But in order to have the calm, they have to allow themselves the idea first. You need to believe it's possible for you. Yes, it might be possible for me, right? It's obviously possible for me because I'm sitting here right now going, hey, it's possible. But you might not yet believe that it's possible for you. But first, please just believe that it's possible for someone else. Right? And when you believe it's possible for someone else, and when you see that it's possible for someone else, and then you hear that, my client has got this as well. And she said to me the other day, there is no way this cannot be a $3 million company. I'm like, of course. She could see it. She was like, yes, this is amazing. It's ease filled, right? She has the embodied alignment of ease. This is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what I do. This is who I serve. And she cut off the requirements for complex things in her business and in her life that just weren't needed there in the first place. Other people will tell you that you need something that you don't need in order to sell you something so that they can get money from it. I make values-based decisions when I'm buying. I'll be really honest with you. I'm a pretty frugal business owner. I buy nice tickets. I buy, I invest. I have Apple software. I don't skimp on good things, but I'm not going to waste money on stuff that I don't need because that's profit. I'm robbing myself of profit when I put things into my business that I just don't need in order to get the end result that I'm actually after. There comes a time when we have to really understand that life is short, and every bit of complexity that we put into our business and into our life is robbing us of the richness of life. And I will, whatever the phrase is, I will die on the sword of like, you get to have a simple life. Heck, as someone who used to make everything way too complex, I love a simple life. I just love simple. And by the way, I've made simple mean scalable, impactful, miraculous, because I love inviting miracles into my world. So scalable, impactful, miraculous, SIMP is profitable because, hello, we love profit. L is leveraged, and E is ease. See, it all comes back to me choosing ease. I love ease. And ease means that I'm living a life that I don't have to be flustered by everybody else. And believe you me, it's a darn sight yummier than choosing to live a life where I'm swept up in the emotions and the thoughts and the belief systems of others. So when I go to conferences like I did a couple of weeks ago, and I actually just genuinely thought it was just going to be a pure value conference. But then there was this one dude and then another dude that jumped up on stage, and they had I think 1.5 hours or 2 hour stints, and they were just there to sell and sell and sell. And look, I'm okay to buy stuff that I need, or that when I'm like, hey, investing in that will create this return over here. And yes, I want that return. And yes, the pathway makes sense for me because I would like to go on that journey. But a lot of the time, what people do, if they're not fully aligned in their own truth, is they buy the thing that they shouldn't buy because the journey was never their journey. The vehicle was never their vehicle. So there were two people selling on stage, and one of them was like, this guy was talking about building empires and all this sort of stuff, and this other guy was talking about trading. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, did they do a great job. And I could see all the manipulative cues and like, if you're a leader, go to the back of the room. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was looking around, and there were some people there that I'm like, I don't even think you've got enough money for your rent, but you're going to the back of the room to buy this thing. And yes, that might have been a judgment, but some of the people really looked like they were on their last dime. And they were going to the back of the room, maybe desperately hopeful that this thing is going to change their life. And I'm concerned when people make decisions that are so radically out of alignment with their own values. And by the way, to that point, when you make values aligned decisions, you're also making a more ease-filled decision because you're making a decision that's for you. Not because you think you should, not because you want the big promise, the big carrot that this person up on stage promises you. But if that journey that that person is going to take you on is not for you and never was for you, then you're out of pocket and you're out of hope. And you're certainly out of ease and you're probably in burnout. I see a lot of people walk this journey and buy things that they shouldn't buy for them. And they do things in business that literally put them in burnout or in an environment where burnout is more possible or more probable because they made decisions that weren't for them. My dear friend, you get to make decisions for you. You are a fully sovereign, you get to be fully sovereign. Maybe you're not actually fully sovereign right now. Maybe you're at that point where you're like, oh, wow, I'm making decisions for my dad, for my mum, for my kids. I'm not I'm not even making decisions. I'm just getting swept up in whatever Facebook algorithm sends my way, and I buy products that I don't even want. I don't even need. Give your bookkeeper less to do. Sorry, I don't mean to give your bookkeeper less of a job. Like, we shouldn't be firing our bookkeepers willy-nilly. Or maybe some of you need to fire your bookkeepers. Who am I to say that? But for goodness sake, don't buy crap that you don't need in order to maybe make your life better, but you're putting yourself in more chaos. Burnout is you choosing to do things that are not for you. And believe you me, I've done it. I have worked too hard. I have taken responsibility for things that are not my responsibility, emotional responsibility, financial responsibility, spiritual responsibility, healing responsibility. Heck, I've done it all. I've taken responsibility for my clients' transformation more than them sometimes. Those were never good relationships. That's, I don't do that as a mentor anymore in any way, shape, or form. I want you to know something. Success does not have to equal stress. Success does get to feel like, oh, wow, crap, that was easy. And for those of you listening right now who heard the little wobble in the microphone, my dog is quite literally sitting on my desk right now. And it's the way that I choose to live my life. My dog is here. She's 13 years old, and I love her dearly. Every single moment that I get with her is a joy. And she just happens to love sitting on my desk, and that's success for me. So I want to lovingly challenge you to live life on your terms. I want to lovingly challenge you to not buy shit that you don't need. I want to lovingly challenge you to ask yourself, what decisions are you making that are perpetuating your burnout cycle? Are you going to conferences that are just not for you? Are you eating food that is not assisting you in having good rest at night? Are you consuming alcohol that is meaning that you're not getting solid sleep? Are you, like, what are you doing? Who are you choosing to be that is not in alignment with you having ease? The weirdest thing that I want to say right now, and if someone said this to me years ago, I would have said to them, you don't know what you are talking about. What if ease was the strategy? What if ease was the strategy? And what if being lazy was cool? Ooh, for some of you, that is going to trigger the shit out of you, because I know that it would for me in the past, because being lazy for me in the past would be one of the worst things you could ever call me. Because I vividly remember when my dad would come inside from working hard on the farm, and if I was sitting there watching TV, I would sit right up and I would turn the TV off, or I would turn the volume down. I would brace for the onslaught of how much he was struggling and how I'd just been sitting there. And of course, I don't think he necessarily ever said, you shouldn't have been watching TV. Maybe he did, I don't know. But I do remember feeling uncomfortable when he would come inside from a long, hard day's work. I would feel the guilt. So I learnt to work hard. I learnt to remove myself from the feeling of guilt by working hard. And it wasn't until I healed my childhood BS that I became an adult running an adult business instead of a 4-year-old running my company, a 7-year-old running my company, or whatever other versions of me and the parts of me that I needed to resolve. And are all the parts resolved? Heck, I don't know. I'll see when the trigger comes up, and I'll see where I was triggered. And, if I'm triggered, it sure as shit that there's something from my childhood that I get to resolve. And I will resolve it because I choose ease over dis-ease. My dear friend, I love you. You are incredible. You are amazing. And I hope in some way, shape, or form this has been valuable for you. I've got a gift for you over on my website. It is a copy of my book. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's my life's work. Please go grab that for yourself for absolutely free. It will be on sale soon, but for the early listeners of this show and for the early adopters, it is absolutely 100% free for you right now. I love you. You are incredible. You are amazing. For those of you that want the book, it's called The Ultimate Wealth, a Happy Millionaire's Guide to Living Freely with a Dangerous Dose of Fun by yours truly, Liz Benny. You're amazing. You're incredible. I hope you found value in this, and I'll see you in the next episode.